Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to be starting a brand new project, one that I hope is not going to take me very long to complete the pages. And I've decided that I want to use this gorgeous little notebook here that comes in one of these cute as little brown boxes that are the kits. And this one is called Love This Memory Notebook Kit. I'm not going to do a whole unboxing of it because I'm sure most of you have seen that already by now, but you get a stamp set, you get some holographic stickers, tear tape, holographic washi tape. With the stamp set, you also get a block and this little Stampin' spot here. And the color of this one is Parakeet Party. And you also get, in case you haven't seen it, you also get instructions so you can follow along and assemble this book following the pictures and the diagrams here. And you can get your book done in no time at all. But I'm not going to be following this. I'm just going to put this aside for the moment. And I'm not sure if I'm even going to use all the contents that comes with this. These are very bright and colourful pieces of paper. There's some die cuts. There's a fun little pocket. You get more die cuts. You get 6x4 size photo mats and also 3x4 size cards. They are only single-sided, but I know that a lot of these colours aren't going to work with what I have in mind for this book. I love these little alphabets. I know I'm going to be using those. You get some sticker sheets that match in with these colourful note cards. And these are also stickers as well, and they are white, and you can use these for stamping on, or you could, if you wanted to, use them to arrange some stickers on as well. But I really wanted to get this notebook. I might put another panel on here and dress up the cover, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do for that as yet. And the reason why I wanted this book is because not only do I love this sort of size project, this would make a great travel kit to take away, but I love the dotted elements on here. It makes it really easy to do your journaling, line everything up. If you want to do some calligraphy work, you could use this. The weight of the paper is quite good, but I wanted to start documenting my crafty friends and also starting with Stampin' Up. I have a 6x8 album that is full of memories from my close to my heart days, gatherings with my friends, retreats that I have run, and I absolutely treasure it. And I've kept all of those photos together rather than interspersing them within my family books. And I thought it would be fun to use this book to highlight all the crafty goodness that is going on this year with now signing up from close to my heart over to Stampin' Up. So I went through this book and I did a little bit of a plan looking at the photos on my phone, and I labeled each page knowing that I can print photos a little bit smaller because I print at home, but you can also do that in the app PicFrame. I've spoken about this several times, and you can use a collage printer if you print at home as well. You can manipulate the sizes of them. So I have all of these labeled. I know I want to introduce some interactive pages. I've sorted through the photos that I want to create with, and I'm actually going to start on page 11 and 12 here because this one happened just this weekend. I had a weekend retreat, just a small one where we hire a house, and the girls all came along and we had a fabulous time. So I thought I would start with these photos, and also this one here. This was a 3-day event, and these girls stole my phone and they love putting a little photo in there that I don't even know that they've taken until I'm scrolling through and find it, and they always bring a smile to my face. So I decided that I would start here rather than at the beginning and bring in some of these elements to see if they're going to match with my photos. I give the girls projects to do if they want to do them, but they can also work on their own things. But I took a snap of Tracy and Lee here holding up a layout that I had designed. And on the Saturday night, we always go out for Mexican. So I was thinking I could put this nice bright color with here because we've got all these yellows in there, but it doesn't quite match. And then I thought maybe I could bring in this little spotty one, or it could go on this side. So you can see you can use these elements here as a whole piece on your page and put your photo on. You could layer them up. So I could have it coming off like this and do a very quick page and put my alphabet letters on here. That works quite well. I quite like this floral one. I could put that on there, and I could bring in another floral so that it teams with this one. and put my photo on there too. So I might do that for that side, but I'm not sure about this side with all of these bright colors here, even though there are bright colors from the walls of the Mexican restaurant that we went to. So what I thought I would do, and I know I'm talking about all of this brightness, but what I thought I would do with these note cards, the ones that I don't use within my book here, I'm going to make into birthday cards or use them on other scrapbook layouts where these bright elements are going to shine and not take over from my photos at all. Sometimes I feel that if there's too much brightness going on, when you put it with a photo, it can take away from the photo and you're concentrating on the design rather than on the photo itself. That being said, however, I'm going to bring in my Full of Life paper pack here. I've got pieces here that I ordered a couple of packs of this because I love this so much. And I know this is more brights on the page, but they're a little bit softer with the color wash here, the watercolor look. So I think they might work quite well on these pages. So I'm going to have a little play with this. The other thing that I thought I would do is just use a couple of bulldog clips just to keep this a little bit flatter, so it's easier to work on and the pages aren't popping up. Now, I'm not intentionally making the right side match the left side. It may work out that way as I go along, but it's not an intention to make these all into double page spreads because this is a different weekend from this one. But I do want them to sit together nicely. So I'm going to have a little bit of a play with the paper that I've got here and see what will match in with the photos that I've got here, or if I need to bring in a totally different packet. And then I'll be back with the decisions that I've made and the start of putting this together. So I've gone through my papers here and I really love this watercolor look to that. And when I was holding it up against these photos here, I thought that this colorway worked really well with it. So what I've done is cut a 1.5 inch strip and I'm going to put that down alongside these photos here and butt the photos right up against it. With the mats that I've got on here, there will be a little bit of separation and that's fine. And I have these 2 strips here left over from my 6x6 Full of Life workshop guide that I just created on 12x12 papers. So I thought I would just pull those out and see if I liked them with this photo here. And I love this sunray piece. It's bringing your eye in towards the photo and the blue here teams in with Brooke's jumper there. So I think that's going to work quite well. So I'm going to put these down on the page and then I'm going to think about where my journaling is going to go, my little title pieces. I'm going to try and use these letters throughout. There's quite a lot on here. So hopefully I'll be able to get all of my titles from these 2 sheets. And I'm going to love using all of these little arrows. I'm not too sure about these teeny tiny little chevrons. They look a little bit fiddly. So I think I'm going to have to get my self-closing tweezers out here to pick all of those pieces up. I need ones with a really fine tip, but they're going to create lovely accents on the pages. I'm just going to put this aside, adhere this down, and then I'll be back with some finishing touches. So I've got my pieces of paper down here and I love how they look. I haven't done any inking. I was thinking of inking all the edges, but I've decided that I'm going to keep this one fairly clean and simple and quick to do. I might go around and do some line work later. I just wanted to show you I've used these little alphabets and self-closing tweezers really come in handy. And I've got my titles on here. I decided that I would just do the first part of my title with the letters, and I've used the little dashes in between each subsequent word, which I've just used a brown Le Pen marker for that. And now I'm going to dress this up a little bit more. I think I'll put a little arrow coming up here. They are very fine stickers, and putting stickers on tweezers like this does help me position the elements a little bit better. I'm just wondering if I can bend that just slightly to curve more around into the photo. I think that's going to work without creasing the sticker. So I've just manipulated that a little bit. And I'm going to look at the stamp set that comes with this. And I think I'm going to do some stamping here. I'm going to do Love This. And there are these sticker sheets that I showed you before. The clouds aren't quite appropriate. And there are 2 sheets. They're exactly the same. And I'm thinking that Love This will fit on one of these little ones. Well, it's a little bit too big. So maybe I won't do it on that. Maybe I'll do it direct to page, or I might test it out on some white cardstock just to see what this looks like. So because this stamp set hasn't been used before, I'm going to be able to just place it on here, and then I might do another arrow pointing in this way, but I don't know that I want to stamp it direct onto this piece here. Actually, maybe I will. I'm going to do it on camera, so let's hope it all works. So I think I'm going to use Early Espresso because that's going to tie it in with these alphabet letters here, and I am going to test it out on a scrap piece of paper first. I've spoken about this a few times. My inks are very new, the ones that I have from Stampin' Up. So just a gentle kiss, you don't need to push down. And I haven't quite got that right, so I'm going to just try that again. That looks pretty good. Early Espresso is very, very dark. It's a lot darker than Espresso ink from Close to My Heart. I'm going to line that up so that it's just above the photo here and let the ink soak in. And because I don't have a lot of layers yet, because I haven't adhered anything in these pages, I am able to stamp directly on here. And I'm going to get a good impression when I do that. I'll just put this one back on my carrier sheet. I'm going to have a look at what else there is on here. Start Somewhere might be a good one to put at the beginning on the opening page because this is the start of my Stampin' Up journey. And then I'm going to get a sticker from here, another one of those little arrows. These stickers have a really nice weight to them. I quite like how putting that one there teams it in with that one over here. I am going to be bringing in some more stamp sets to do some additional stamping onto this because I'm creating this notebook here my own way. I just want to be able to bring in a lot more elements. I might even bring in some of these little labels and layers ephemera pack. So I'm going to open that up and see what's going to work. I'm going to close this up before I spread any ink anywhere. So let's see what will work on this page. I think I need a white base to them. I don't want anything with too much yellow on it because it's just not going to work. I quite like this one with the torn off edge here. That might work quite well as a little tag tucked down under here to do some journaling. So this happens a lot. I do tend to pick things up just a little bit. So I do need an adhesive that I'm able to move rather than it being stuck straight down. I think that works quite well. So I'm going to need to push out those little holes. So for this reason, I'm not using the tear tape at all because I need to be able to lift things up and move them around on my page. I love how that looks. So now I'm going to see if I've got something that I can put on this side. Maybe this one will work, maybe not. I might need to journal for this one directly onto the page here. I'm not going to do a whole lot of journaling on each page, but I do want to record who's in the photo and where we were. I quite like these little floral elements here, and I'm wondering how they will look just coming out of the side of the photos. So not using it as a tag, just using it as an embellishment. It matches in with this Full of Life colour, but it's just going to be sitting there on its own. Because I've printed my photos at nearly a 3x3 size, I haven't left a lot of room on here for embellishment. So that's something I'm going to have to think about for when I'm printing other photos for this. I need to leave myself some room so that I can add more embellishments to this. I'm going to push out the dots on this one. I quite like the little sun here, and I know that I said I was looking for white labels here to match, but I quite like how this looks, and it brings in a bit of fun with the background of this piece here. Actually, I might put that up here, and that will cover up this lamp and everything, because that's quite large there. That looks a bit cute, so I'm going to commit to that and put that down. So I've got some adhesive on here, but as I was about to put this down, I realized that's a little bit distracting behind there with the elements from the photo coming through. So I'm just going to adhere a piece of white down here. Then I'm going to be able to tuck this down underneath, and that looks a lot cleaner, I think, to have those holes with white behind them rather than other pieces from the photo. So that's a bit cute. And to bring that in again, because I have 2 packs of these, I'm just going to see if I should get the other one out or if there's another element like this floral element that will work maybe on this side to bring a bit of yellow over to this side. But I don't know if I want to introduce another colour here. I do like that it flows on here. So I'm just going to leave that sitting there while I think about it. I'm just going to find that same tag here because I think I want a matching embellishment on that side rather than bringing in a floral. Let's take this one out. and see what that looks like coming out from under here. That's a bit cute, I think. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down. Put the white behind here so that the pattern doesn't come through here. I just want it to be nice and clean. And I know I said I wasn't going to do a matchy-matchy across the page, but I do like that this element is repeated in both of these pieces here. So I don't think the little floral element is going to work at all. I'm going to bring in these two stamp sets that Stampin' Up! Released that were originally slated for a Close to My Heart release, but Stampin' Up! Brought those into their range for people to purchase. And I want to do a little bit of stamping, I think, with these hearts in a little row around or across this section here. I think that'll make a nice little addition to the top edge of that photo and the bottom edge of this one down the bottom here. Just want to make sure that that's stamping nicely and it's a nice fine outline. I think I'll just go from, oops, and I've put my finger down. So I'm going to have to go right over top of this so that I can line it up and hope that I've got that pretty good, and I've messed that up. So I'm actually going to do this on a piece of white cardstock, and of course I'm going to get it fine this time. I think I was just a bit nervous and I had my hand on a little bit of an angle there. So I'm going to trim these out. I'm going to stamp another one that's a bit straighter. It's hard stamping sometimes when you can't put your head all the way over. You're trying to keep your head out of the way for the camera. So I'm just going to put my head all the way over because you can see I'm not getting this right and I'm not pressing down hard at all. So that worked a charm, just to make sure that I put my head all the way over with this. So I'm just trimming this off with some scissors. And then that is going to adhere here, and nobody will know that I've fudged that underneath there except everybody that's watching right now. And I'm going to do the same thing to this one down the bottom left here. And this is tying these two pages together nicely. And I might do a little row of hearts along the bottom of the pattern paper as well. So I'll edit out my head getting in the way. I love how that looks, so I'm going to continue that all the way along. I'm just going to mask this bit off here. That looks super sweet. So I'm going to do that on the bottom edge of this piece. Where will I start? I'll work back that way. So I'll start here, and I've put my post-it note here so it doesn't go onto the white. It's super cute. I quite like the touch of the early espresso as opposed to black. It's just a little bit softer and it works really well. So all that's left for me to do now is a little bit of journaling, which I will do off camera. And then so here's my double page all finished. I love how this has come out, and having the areas to be able to write some journaling on here. I don't want to just put the photos. I want to tell some of the stories about how I know these girls, and that will develop as more and more photos go into this book. But I do love how this cute little size has worked. I wanted to show you how to make 2 pages become cohesive. Even when you're using different pattern papers, the color tones here match quite well. Even though there's an introduction of more yellow and pink on this side, I still think it works well together. All of these color tones pick up from the wall and the artwork. Even the pink, it's here in their little drink here. And some of the girls did have margaritas and strawberry slushies. So I think the colors work quite well together. And because they're more muted in their patterns rather than the brightness of these ones here, I think this works quite well. These cards here will work beautifully for outdoor beach or birthday party type photos, but they weren't quite right for the photos that I had in mind for the start of my book, even though I haven't started at the beginning. Now, I haven't put any of the dots down because as I was doing my journaling, I thought I will leave those off until the very end and go through this book and put them all in, because I want to be able to write on here and not have to worry about a raised element. If, say, I've put some dots around this area here, when it comes to journaling on this side, that's going to make it a bit tricky. So I'm just leaving this flat. I'm not going to be using any foam tape in this book, I don't think. Everything is just going to be flat. I will be putting some interactive elements when I've got some more photos, because with this particular one, I've got quite a lot of photos, but I want to keep it within a double page spread. So I'm going to have to work out how I'm going to do that. I have something in mind for that, but I can't wait to put some more photos photos into this cute little book. If I keep using this pattern paper, I might introduce some of that on the cover, and then this is going to be my opening page, not necessarily with any photos, but I want to think about what I'm going to do with that. And it was fun to start with these photos that were only taken this past weekend. Such a fun time going away with these girls. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing my take on how I'm using this memory notebook kit. I do want to say there is a YouTube collab going up this week with the Creative Design Team girls, and we are opening our Creative Design Team membership group up for registration. So if you have been waiting for that to happen, now's the time to go and register. We're only open for a week. So I'll put a graphic up now while I'm talking about it and a link below so you can click on that if you'd like to join us. We've had a lot of people ask when our membership group is going to be open again. We don't have it open all year long. Usually we only open it twice a year, but we've had so many queries about it. We decided to do a quick surprise opening. Happy crafting, everyone. I will see you again later this week with my YouTube collab video with the Creative Design Team. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Bye for now.